Eleanor Hayes was 76 years old, a widow living alone in a small but charming bungalow on the outskirts of Asheville, North Carolina. The house was modest, but what made her life special was the family lake house, an old cedar-shingled cabin on Lake Lure, passed down from her parents. It had a private dock, a wraparound porch with rocking chairs, and views of the Blue Ridge Mountains that took your breath away. Eleanor had spent every summer there as a child, and after her husband died 10 years ago, it became her sanctuary. The lake house wasn't just a property, it was the family's heirloom, worth close to $800,000 now with the booming vacation rental market. Eleanor kept it pristine. Even though she rarely stayed overnight anymore, her knees weren't what they used to be. She maintained it for her grandson, Tyler. Tyler was 22, her only grandchild, the son of her late daughter who had passed in a car accident 5 years earlier. Eleanor had raised him from age 17, putting him through community college, buying him a used truck, covering his phone bill. Tyler was bright but aimless, always talking about making it big as a social media influencer or starting a dropshipping business. He lived with her rent-free, contributed little, and spent most of his time gaming or partying with friends. One Friday in early spring, Tyler came bounding into the kitchen where Eleanor was making her morning tea. "Gran, you're not gonna believe this. My buddies and I scored an insane deal for spring break. Private villa in Cancun, Mexico. Pool, beach access, the works. It's gonna be epic content for my channel." Eleanor smiled softly, stirring her chamomile. "That sounds fun, honey. How much is it costing?" Tyler grinned, leaning on the counter. "That's the thing. We need a little boost to lock it in, like your Social Security check this month. It's only $2,400 and the deposit is due today. I'll pay you back when my merch drops, I swear."
Eleanor's check had arrived that morning. Her fixed income, every penny accounted for. Groceries, utilities, property taxes on both houses, her blood pressure medication. The pantry was already thinning. She'd been skipping fresh produce to stretch the previous month's money. "But Tyler, that's all I have until next month. What about food? The lake house taxes are due soon too." He waved it off. "Come on, Gran, you've got that lake house sitting there. It's basically a gold mine. And you've got canned stuff in the pantry. Eat that for a couple weeks. It's good for you, cleansing or whatever. I deserve this break. College was stressful." Eleanor looked into his pleading eyes, the same blue as her daughter's. She thought of all the sacrifices, the new clothes she'd denied herself, the vacations she'd never taken, the lake house weekends she'd spent alone so he could have friends over. She handed him her debit card. "All right, sweetheart, but promise you'll be careful." Tyler whooped, hugged her quickly, and snatched the card. "You're the best Gran ever. I'll bring you back a sombrero or something." He was gone in a flash, suitcase packed, Uber waiting. The house fell silent. Eleanor opened the fridge. Half a loaf of bread, some eggs, wilted spinach. Pantry, a few cans of soup, rice, tuna. Enough to survive, but not live. She sat at the kitchen table, staring out the window at the blooming dogwoods. Something shifted inside her, a quiet, icy resolve. "Why am I starving myself for a house he'll probably sell the minute I'm gone?" That afternoon, Eleanor called a real estate agent she'd met at church, Margaret Whitmore, known for handling high-end mountain properties. "Margaret, it's Eleanor Hayes. About the lake house on Lake Lure, I'd like to list it for sale. Quietly, quickly, cash offers preferred." Margaret was surprised, but professional. "Eleanor, that's a gem. In this market, we could get top dollar, maybe more than asking." "Do it," Eleanor said firmly, "and I need it fast." Within days, the listing went live. Discreetly, no yard sign. Offers poured in. Vacation home buyers, investors, retirees dreaming of mountain views. By the end of the week, Eleanor accepted a cash offer, $950,000, closing in 2 weeks.
She didn't tell Tyler. With the money wired to her account, after fees, a life-changing sum, Eleanor transformed. First, she hired a moving company to clear out personal items from the lake house, family photos, her parents' old furniture, storing what she wanted in a small unit. Then she went shopping. Not at the discount grocery she'd frequented for years, but at the upscale Ingles in town, then Earth Fare for specialties. She filled carts. Fresh salmon fillets, rack of lamb, artisanal cheeses, black truffles, jars of Osetra caviar, crates of exotic fruits, rambutan, passion fruit, cherimoya, bottles of Veuve Clicquot champagne, foie gras, prosciutto, handmade pastas, decadent desserts. Back home, her old fridge, a side-by-side that had seen better days, became a treasure trove. Shelves groaned under the weight, caviar tins stacked neatly, champagne chilling, fruits glowing like jewels in the drawers, meats and cheeses wrapped carefully. It was packed solid, no room for even a yogurt cup. Eleanor set her small dining table with her good linens, the ones saved for holidays. She cooked a real meal, seared salmon with truffle butter, fresh asparagus, a glass of champagne. Ate slowly, savoring. The taste was more than food, it was dignity. Tyler was gone for 10 days. He posted constantly. Pool parties, nightclub shots, beach sunsets, spring break vibes, living my best life. Tagged her once, "Miss you, Gran, thanks for making this possible, heart." Eleanor saw the posts, noted the villa looked expensive, far more than her check could cover alone. Credit cards, probably, or lies to his friends. She booked herself a condo in Miami Beach, 6 months, oceanfront, fully furnished, paid in full. A new chapter. The day Tyler returned, Eleanor was ready. The bungalow sparkled, deep clean hired. She wore a new outfit, soft linen pants, a silk blouse in teal, hair done at the salon. The door flew open. Tyler dragged in sandy suitcases, reeking of tequila and sunscreen. "Gran, home sweet home. Man, that trip was insane. You should have seen."
He stopped, sniffing. Whoa, smells fancy in here. Did you burn a candle or something? Eleanor sipped tea from a porcelain cup. Welcome back, Tyler. He dropped his bags. I'm starving. Plain food sucked. What's for eats? You got any of that tuna left? He marched to the fridge, yanked it open, and froze. Then yelped, a sharp, shocked sound. The light bathed shelves of luxury, caviar gleaming, champagne frosted, exotic fruits piled high, truffles in glass jars like rare gems. What the... Gran, this is insane. Caviar? Truffles? This stuff costs a fortune. He grabbed a champagne bottle, staring at the label. Veuve? This is like $80 a bottle. Eleanor set her cup down calmly. Dinner. Tyler spun around. Where'd you get the money? Did you win the lottery? Take out a reverse mortgage? Oh God, the interest. Put it back, Eleanor said quietly. He didn't, held the bottle like evidence. Gran, this is thousands of dollars. You're gonna go broke. I sold the lake house. The bottle slipped from his hand, thudding softly on the rug, thankfully plastic cork. You... what? Sold it. Cash. Closed last week. Tyler's face drained of color, tan fading to gray. But that was my inheritance. The family lake house. You can't just... Your inheritance? Eleanor's voice was steel wrapped in velvet. I maintained it, paid taxes, repairs, insurance, while you partied on my monthly income. He stammered. I was gonna use it, rent it out on Airbnb, make bank. You left me with empty cupboards, Tyler. Told me to eat canned goods, while you lived luxury on my dime. Tears welled in his eyes. Anger, shock. You're senile. This is crazy. Blowing everything on food? I'll get a lawyer, contest the sale, prove you're not competent.
Eleanor pulled out a thick folder. Notarized documents. Capacity evaluation from my doctor, sharp as ever. The agent confirmed I knew exactly what I was doing. Tyler lunged for the fridge again, grabbing fruits, caviar. At least let me take some, sell it back. No, Eleanor stood. That's my food, bought with my money, from the house I owned. He clutched a jar. But I live here. This is my home too. Not anymore. She gestured to 2 packed suitcases by the door. His clothes, gaming setup, everything. Locks change tomorrow. You're welcome to stay with your spring break buddies. You can't kick me out. I'm family. You stopped acting like it when you took my last dollar and left me hungry. Tyler sobbed now, real tears. Gran, please, I didn't mean, I'll change, get a job. Too late. Eleanor walked to the door, opened it. Spring air rushed in. Time to live your best life, on your own. He grabbed his bags, face twisted. You'll regret this. You'll die alone in some crappy apartment, eating cat food. The door closed behind him, quietly. Eleanor returned to the kitchen, opened the caviar, spread it thickly on a cracker, poured champagne, raised her glass. To new views. 3 months later, Eleanor sat on her Miami balcony, watching the Atlantic roll in. Her condo was bright, modern, floor-to-ceiling windows, fresh flowers daily. She'd made friends at the pool, joined a book club, took salsa lessons, ate fresh seafood nightly. No more canned anything. Tyler had messaged once, begging, apologizing. She didn't reply. The lake house? Sold to a lovely retired couple who sent her photos. Renovated porch, new kayaks on the dock. Happy. Eleanor smiled at the sunset, champagne in hand. This was the view she'd earned, not saved for someone else.